Everybody, and this is the NXT review. We know last night we had a lot of crazy things happen on NXT, so let's just jump right into it. Starting off, we had Stephanie Vaquer retain her championship versus Jada Parker, and I wouldn't say this was interference, but I put it on here anyway. And she retained by interference by Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace kind of just like stood on the ropes and kind of distracted Jada Parker, and that caused for Stephanie to pick up the win with a roll-up, I believe it was. And then after the match, we see Fatal Influence attack Stephanie after the match just to get her weakened before her match in the main event versus Fallon Henley. Then we see Wesley cost Hank and Tank versus Tyson and Tyreek. Obviously, this is very impactful here, but I noticed that we're going to have a very short video if I keep going like that. But I don't know how I feel about Stephanie Vaquer retaining against Jada Parker. Obviously, I know that's the right decision, but I don't know why we're having Jordynne Grace interfere. I know earlier in the match we saw Jordynne Grace they were showing the whole women's roster watching the match with Ava, and Jordynne Grace was just sitting there watching. So I didn't really understand that part, but obviously this part makes sense. They're just trying to soften her up before their match, so it makes sense. But I think it's so cool how JC Jane is putting in the work. We know she was on TNA, and we know she has a match Thursday or tomorrow against Masha Slamovich. So she's got big matches ahead of her, and she's helping out her teammates and attacking Stephanie Vaquer. So she is putting in the work. I bet she has major jet lag because she has to get on a plane like today for tomorrow. But yeah, I think that's an awesome decision to have her defeat Jada Parker. Obviously, I feel like that should have been main event, but I have no problem with it if you really think about the chances. Like, Fallon Henley has a way bigger chance than Jada Parker for the sole reason of this match kicking off the show was for the NXT Championship, and we know for sure that Jada Parker isn't winning that. So to see Jordynne Grace interfere, it's just leveling up that rivalry, and we're probably 9 times out of 10 going to get this triple threat at Stand and Deliver, which I wouldn't be mad at all, because Stand and Deliver is the PLE for NXT. That is, you bring your hardest hitting matches, and that's what's going to happen. We know a lot of great matches came out of Stand and Deliver, and I wouldn't regret no match from Stand and Deliver. Like, every single match is just banging. But yeah, Wesley cost Hank and Tank. I know Denise Salcedo was talking about this on her stream. She said that Hank and Tank needs more colorful stuff because they are so energetic, and I completely agree. I feel like if you're going to be this energetic, that's the only reason I really don't care for them, and it's just they're just too energetic. It's 8 o'clock. I'm about to go to bed after wrestling, and you're going to tell me, or you're going to show me people that are running around. For me, it's not for me personally, which it don't make sense because I love the high flying moves, but I don't like Hank and Tank. I don't understand. But yeah, Tyson and Tyreek looks like they're trying to kick them off and do something with them, but I feel like Hank and Tank should have got the victory. Obviously, we know Tyson and Tyreek and Wesley are pretty much more on TNA than they are on WWE or on NXT right now. So having them win, I feel like is a bit weird because they could have just had to Hank and Tank win, get them the momentum in NXT, and then Tyson, Tyreek, and Wesley could have just went back to NXT and settled their business with the Rascals. We see Javon Evans versus Lexis King in a Heritage Cup match, and we had an awesome match. Don't get me wrong. Javon Evans was hitting his high-flying moves. Y'all know I picked Javon Evans to win this match. I thought it was going to be so awesome, so cool. But then we see Obafemi come out, and we see him powerbomb Javon onto the apron, and that's whenever Javon Evans got counted out. And I was kind of confused because, as we know, there's different rounds in these Heritage Cup matches, and normally if you get pinned, then they take a break and then they keep going. But I guess I didn't look at the rules because I remember Denise said that they did the rules and stuff, but I was in the bathroom whenever that happened. So, man, I guess I should have been here, but I didn't know the match was over. I was like, all right, lock in, Javon, and then they ring the bell, and I was like, what? But yeah, after the match, Oba attempts to attack Javon, but Trick comes out, and Trick shots Javon Evans on accident. And Oba and Trick start brawling again. As we know, that match is probably going to happen at Stand and Deliver also, while Dark State looks on. We know that's Oba moving out the way and Trick shotting him, and he landed hard on the outside. He'll definitely be sore today. But yeah, that's definitely crazy. And to see Dark State looking on, I don't know if you can see it here. We have a video later that they posted and that they showed on TV, and it was just kind of explaining what happened. So that is 2 weeks in a row that Dark State has just been looking on and not made any action, which I think is very weird. But we obviously have a lot of stuff to dig into before Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver is on WrestleMania weekend, and we know WrestleMania is on April 19th and April 20th, so they got a lot of time. I think Stand and Deliver is on like April 17th, 18th, something like that. I think it's on the, I think it's the Friday before WrestleMania or the Saturday, so either it's the same day or the day before WrestleMania, so we got a packed weekend in April. But this rivalry is definitely building up. I would love to see Javon versus Trick versus Oba, but I don't know how it will land because I don't know where Dark State lands in this. We have not saw an in-ring debut from them yet. We've only saw them attack people. We know we saw them attack Fraxium. We saw them attack Trick Williams. We saw them attack Oba. We saw them attack Javon. And we even saw them attack Tony D'Angelo. So what's next for this Dark State as they just keep attacking people? When is Ava going to say enough is enough? Is this like mutiny? We know in the WWE 2K My Rise was that, were they trying to tell us something? We know that NXT came and attacked the WWE roster on WWE 2K My Rise, so what's happening here? Is this just a rerun? But yeah, I'm very excited to see what's next for Dark State. We see Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan defeat Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, which I think is a decent decision. It looks like they're trying to start back this duo of Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan. As we know, they're great in ring. This was a very good in ring match. It was good pace, everything like that. I love how Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, their character fits them very well, and they just run things perfectly. And I know people were so mad because they got a main roster run. I think that was perfect. I think having NXT tag team dipping into the main roster and almost winning the tag team championships was the perfect decision. They went on a roll on the main roster, and I think that it was just a little test to see if they're ready for it, and they clearly are. So they need to start pushing them a little bit more, and they really need to win. So, well, I don't know what these people are competing for because there's no tag teams down in NXT that are for championships and stuff, so maybe they need to bring back the women's tag team championships, but there's really only like 3 tag teams. We see Ethan Page defeat Andre Chase in their one-on-one match, and whenever Ethan Page was entering, we saw Ricky Saints come out with Ethan Page. And after the match, we see Ethan and Ricky go back and forth, and then we see Shawn Spears attack Ricky Saints after their match, which is showing dominance from Shawn Spears. We know that he beat Tony D'Angelo last week for that championship, and ever since Tony D'Angelo's been kind of like same thing that he did with Obafemi, where he's kind of down on himself. But now we're seeing this match next week, Shawn Spears versus Ricky Saints, and I'm hoping that we can get Ricky Saints a win, but they're obviously not going to give it to him just yet. I feel like this is a good way to get him in the title picture, but this is going to be Shawn Spears' first title defense, so he definitely won't drop it. But I wish he would, because I would way rather see Ricky Saints, because he, in my opinion, he's better in ring, and he just is a bit more entertaining and better on the mic, in my opinion. Obviously, this is the battle of the AEW guys. We know that Shawn Spears came from AEW, and we know that Ricky Saints has recently came from AEW and got released from AEW, so this is going to be a great match. We see Dark State make a video, which was aired on TV, and they said, when Dark State strikes, ain't nobody safe. So, nobody's safe for them. And then we actually got, we've obviously seen this before, but they fully unmasked this time. We know we got Deion Lennox back there, and we got some people from some familiar faces in there. And then in the main event, we have Stephanie Vicaire versus Fallon Henley in a awesome match. I absolutely loved it. Y'all know we used to do match ratings, but I kind of had to stop keeping up with it because I didn't want to be that one guy that just match rates and all this and gets controversial stuff, and I just didn't want to do anything anymore. So I just watched the matches and then give y'all my opinion on here, and she did end up defeating Fallon Henley, which I thought was great, but I see now why they put it in the main event, because Fallon Henley has a way bigger chance of defeating Stephanie Vicaire than Jada Parker does. We know Jada has a pretty serious rivalry now with Jordynne Grace, and Fallon Henley, she's a former North American champion, so she had a chance to win it back. But this was obviously Stephanie Vicaire's first title defenses, and winning those 2 matches makes her an even dominant champion. And we saw at one point Ava ask Stephanie Vicaire backstage if she's okay to keep going, and she said yeah. So very dominant champion here. We see Fatal Influence attack Stephanie after the match, and Jordynne Grace comes to the aid of her, and Jada Parker attacks Jordynne Grace. So we're going to see a lot of crap going on here. Obviously, I think we still get, because obviously the Fatal Influence attacking Stephanie Vicaire and everything like that. That's not nothing to do with a storyline. That's just who Fatal Influence is. They're a heel. That's what they're supposed to do. That's the best thing for their character. But seeing Jada Parker attack Jordynne Grace after this is a big thing, because we're potentially, if Stephanie Vicaire can get into this rivalry, either we're going to see that one-on-one, or we may even see Jordynne Grace win the title off of Stephanie Vicaire at Stand and Deliver, if that's what's next. So, just a little throw out. I would love to see Jordynne Grace have a title, because she is immaculate. Like, I don't think you can pick apart anything that she does that isn't amazing. So I'm really excited to see if she can win the title off of Stephanie Vicaire at some PLE in the future. But they definitely need to do something with their new superstars like Ricky Saints. I mean, I'm super happy that Shawn Spears got a title after this long. We know he's been in title matches. He was in that Heatwave match, one of the greatest matches in NXT, I feel like, in 2024. And man, I'm just excited to see what these new superstars from TNA and AEW can do on the NXT roster. I'm really hoping that Ricky Saints can gain some traction and they don't fumble him, because he is a talent. And we know Shawn Michaels kind of pulled the trigger a little bit too early, and I'm pretty sure he's still kind of figuring out things about Ricky Saints. He's probably already had his eyes on him from the get-go. But whenever he got him the day after he got released. So we know that. I mean, Shawn Michaels just absolutely pulled the trigger. So we don't know if Shawn Michaels really knows what he's doing right now, but I'm going to believe in him, because he's put together great matches with a great roster, a great women's division, probably arguably the greatest women's division in wrestling right now. So with that being said, that was the NXT review. We break down a lot of stuff in here, and I posted a lot of videos earlier this morning about the what matches built up best for WrestleMania. So go check out that, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Deuces, ooses.